There are certain habits I absolutely cannot carry with me into 2026 because honestly, this year has exposed me to several parts of myself that I didn't even know existed. It showed me what I've outgrown, what drains me, those things that I call normal, but in actual sense were never healthy for me. So today I'm sharing 5 habits that I'll be dropping with me before the year ends. And who knows, you might relate to any of those habits. So stick around, grab a cup of tea or coffee or whatever it is you like drinking, and let's get right into it. Back to the channel, my sweet peas. Today's video is more on the softer side of life. It is a bit more reflective as we wrap up 2025 and prepare to usher in 2026. I pretty much think that as women in our 20s or even in our 30s, we get to a certain point in our lives where there are habits that do not just align with who we are or who we are trying to become as individuals. And forgive me guys, I know I sound a bit hoarse. I've got a bad cold, so just permit me. But that's not going to stop me from talking about these habits, because there are things that honestly I need to drop into 2025, and maybe also share some of those habits. And you also need to drop these habits in 2025 because they are quite toxic. And sometimes we just don't realize that we have these habits, or even if we know we have them, we don't realize that they're toxic habits and they're not normal habits as we have termed them to be. So I want this to feel like a girl chat. Between you and I, we're talking and chatting away honestly. And if you're also a guy, you definitely would have this trait. This is not just a girl trait, okay? This is a trait that as individuals we all have, and we need to do better and start being conscious to let some of these habits go because they just don't do us any good. Okay, so let's get right into it, sweet pea. The number one habit I would like to drop in 2025 will be over-explaining myself. I have come to realize in my 20-something years of life that people who truly love you, people who genuinely value you, they don't need a 5-paragraph essay to understand your behavior or your actions or your boundaries or your decisions. And you see those people that are committed to misunderstanding you, even if you take your time and you prepare PowerPoint slides, they really still wouldn't get you. And honestly, this is not just a random point. This is something that I have lived my whole life, over explaining myself, trying to make it make sense, trying to get people to resonate with me, trying to get people to see my point of view, just so that they get me. Because I find out that people tend to misunderstand me a lot. It has become a norm. And I've gotten to that point in life where I've told myself that it's okay. Like, if people don't get me, if people don't understand me, they're probably just not supposed to be in my close circle. Because I do have friends and, relations that understand my kind of person, and I just don't need to explain heaven and earth to them for them to get me or get where I'm coming from or see things from the actual point or angle where I'm coming from. And it's not to say that people must always understand you or see things from your point of view. As individuals, we should be able to air our views. We should be able to have different views to things and different POVs. But if you see that you are having to explain more than usual to people that you consider as a close circle, but somehow for every single little thing you're over explaining, you're trying to get them to not misunderstand you, they're just not for you. They're just not supposed to be in your close circle. It's not you. It's not a you problem, to be fair. It is a them problem. And you just have to realize at some point that it's not everyone that should be in your close circle. I think that's something that we struggle to accept. But as individuals growing up, getting older, we should be okay with that fact. Know that everyone should not be in our close circle. And it's only people that you don't find yourself over explaining to, or you don't feel the urge or the need to over explain for them to really understand your person, that should be in your close circle. This year has taught me to say what I mean once and let it stand like that. I just leave it. Like, I say what I mean, where I'm coming from, state my point of view, and just let it stand. If you get it, fine. If you don't get it, forget about it. You know how we do it. And this brings me to the second habit that I'm dropping in 2025. Now, number 2 habit will be being too emotionally available. I have had to accept that being a caring person doesn't necessarily mean that I have to be emotionally available for you 24/7. And I think this is something that we struggle with generally. We cannot cut that line between I'm a caring person and oh, I have to always be there emotionally for you 24/7. For Christ's sake, we all go through our different phases in life. We all have what we're struggling with. We all have our battles. Some we're fighting obviously in people's faces. Some we're fighting internal battles that we don't want to bring to the public or in people's faces that we care about and love. And the fact that I might not be able to show up for you 24/7 emotionally whenever you need me, you know, I'm just going to jump there. I might be going through my own issues that I'm not even telling you about, because I know this fact that everyone has their own problems and I'm not trying to burden you with mine. It doesn't mean that I don't care for you. I still care about you. I could care for you to death. I could love you a lot. But at the end of the day, I just need to realize that, you know, I don't have to put that burden on myself to say, okay, I'm struggling with my own thing. I'm really, really struggling. But because I want to show you that I really care about you, for every time you call me, for every time you shout my name, for every time you just need me to be there for you emotionally, I will present myself for you 24/7. My heart is not an all-you-can-eat buffet. It's not. I promise you. And honestly, I would always pour into people even when I was empty myself. And in 2025, moving into 2026, I'm learning to give from a place of fullness and not obligation. I will give you what I have, not because I feel obliged or obligated to do that stuff for you. Because if I don't have it, I can't give you. If I'm not settled myself, if I'm going through my own, you know, issues, if I'm too overwhelmed myself, I wouldn't be giving you because, oh, I'm obligated just to show you that I care about you. I will only be giving you from a place of fullness. I hope that makes sense. And not to say that I would only show up when I'm comfortable. No. But I have this habit with being so empty, being so overwhelmed, and still trying to show up for people, which in turn then overwhelms me more and puts me in a much more darker space. I'm struggling a lot, and then I pour into them. They go about their lives, they're happy, you know, they're a lot better, but I go home worse than I even left my house. If that makes any sense. So we're dropping that habit in 2025. That's not following us in 2026. No. I can never go back. Oh, it's already too late. Oh. And as I was learning to protect my energy, this one was hard. I will not be taking responsibility for people's actions or behaviors. I am done blaming myself for how people, adults, choose to behave. If someone lies, if they choose chaos, or if they mistreat me, that is their character, not my fault. It has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with me. For the longest of time, far back than I can even remember, I have internalized people's actions like it was my fault, like I caused it, like it was premeditated by me. I will always find myself explaining, trying to make sense of, you know, why someone hurts me, trying to make up excuses, trying to think about the situation in different lights, from different angles. Okay, this is how they've hurt me, or but maybe this person did this thing because of this particular reason. I find myself doing all this mathematics of, you know, trying to make an excuse for people just because I care about them or because they are close to me. I just didn't want to, for the longest of time, I didn't want to be honest to myself and tell myself that these people have actually hurt me because they chose to do it. They consciously decided, because as adults, we know the difference between good or bad. They consciously made that decision to hurt me. They thought about it. Of course, they thought about it, processed it. They knew that this was going to leave that effect on me, which is either hurt me or make me feel some sort of way, but they still chose to go ahead and make me feel that way. And so it's not my responsibility to try to figure out why they did what they did, or, you know, what they could have been thinking of, or make excuses like, oh, they probably were going through a lot and that's why they acted that way, or this or that, which definitely was what I have done, or which is definitely what I've been doing for the longest of time. And in 2025, this year, I am releasing that toxic energy. I'm releasing that toxic habit. I'm releasing that weight, because adults are solely responsible for themselves, their actions, their attitude, whatever they are given to you. They have thought about it, processed it, and they decided to do what they're doing. So I'm releasing that weight of blaming myself for people's actions. And honestly, if you find yourself in this situation as well, because I think this could be a common trait, if you find that you're always making excuses for people around you when they hurt you because you care about them and you love them, that is just not healthy for you as a person. That could mess up your mind and your personality in a lot of ways that you don't even realize. I would advise that you drop that habit as well in 2025. Now, this next one is something that I never even realized that I was doing, because for me it was normal, and that is shrinking myself to make other people feel comfortable. Now, I'm never doing that anymore. I didn't realize how many times I had to dim my own light just to avoid being seen as too much, or to avoid being seen as someone who was bragging, or be too confident, too soft, too expressive, too ambitious. But here's the truth. In rooms where you must become small to be accepted, my friend, you do not belong. If you find out that you're not able to genuinely share yourself with people that you say are close to you, you have a good news. You can't, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't be sensitive, okay, because I know I'm a very sensitive person, but there are times where I found out that I couldn't share something wonderful happening in my life, something I've been looking forward to, something I've been expecting for such a long time. Finally got it, but I couldn't even feel comfortable enough to share it within my friend circle or within my close circle, because I didn't want them to say that I was bragging, or I didn't want them to say, oh, I'm showing off. And I thought it was normal, because I would tell myself that, oh, I'm just being sensitive, I'm just trying to be considerate, be demure. That is a beautiful lie. That's a beautiful lie I've told myself for the longest of time. And I just found out that I can't even comfortably share highlights in my life with people that I'm supposed to want to run to immediately. I get this good tidings happen to me, but I can't run to them to share, because I would just be like, let me just hold on, maybe it's not the right time to share, blah 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 blah. I did that a lot. I've done that a lot. I still do it till now, but I have gotten a lot better than where I started from. And in 2025, I'm showing up as a full version of myself, not that watered down version that keeps everybody around me comfortable. If I share good tidings about myself or highlights about my life and it makes you feel uncomfortable, one, you're not my friend. Two, maybe you should use that as a means to do better for yourself. You should use that as an avenue to aim higher for yourself, rather than feel uncomfortable that I'm sharing my success with you, rather than feeling comfortable that I'm sharing something good that has happened with me. Because if you are that kind of person, then I'm sorry, you have a long way to go and you should work on yourself. It's not my problem. Okay? And finally, the one that even shocked me, being too invested in people. This one, I didn't realize how much of myself I was giving away. I'm someone who loves deeply. I care about people deeply. Honestly, this is not to blow my trumpet. People that have met me, people that I'm close to, they know this part about me. I can give all myself, everything, to someone that I love, someone that I care about. And doesn't go to say that I wouldn't show up for people that are not in my close circle. I would, but if you were to be my close circle, I will go extra miles for you. You call me around 2 a.m. and say, oh, I'm stuck at so and so place, I need you to come out for me, I need you to do this, do that. I will go above and beyond to help you, or to get you to safety, or whatever it is within my power. I would do it. If I don't do it, just know that there was nothing I could do about it. But I just found out that, over the years, I've placed myself in emotional positions that I did not belong to. That might sound a bit tricky, but you might think you are more to a certain person or people, but you would be really shocked to know that you are not as much as you thought you were to those people. And that is part of what comes with being too invested in people, continuously pouring, because you feel like, okay, this is my person, this is my ride or die. But one question that we should always ask ourselves is, whenever you say this is my person, always ask yourself, am I that person's person? I think it's something that we fail to ask ourselves. It's more like saying, oh, this is my best friend, or this is my main guy, or this is my main girl. Always ask yourself, am I their main guy? Am I this person's main girl? Am I this person's best friend? Because one thing I have realized in my many years of life is that most times we're not who we think we are to people, but they don't see us in that same light. And then you are investing so much time and energy, you know, everything physically possible, financially, emotionally, spiritually, into these individuals, but only to get shocked years later on to just find out that they didn't really send you as a person. They're not really to send you. They don't really care about you that much. And several points in my life I found out that, yeah, I found this to be the case, and I've just learned at this point to put myself where people put me. And that might come off as being weird. I probably wouldn't go into talking about that because that would make this video longer, but it's like, if I think I'm this much to you and you show me that I'm this much to you, I will stay in that place in your life. I wouldn't force myself to, you know, I wouldn't start trying to do way more to get you to see me that much, if you get what I mean. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that you get is more heartbreak. Heartbreak upon heartbreak upon heartbreak. You will chop breakfast, then you will continue to chop breakfast until you are so full there's nowhere to put the food anymore. And don't get me wrong, being invested in people is not a bad idea, but getting to the point where you start losing yourself in people, now that's the dangerous part. In 2025, as we end the year, I am learning balanced attachment. I can totally love you, but I must also keep my center. Very important, very key, because I have chopped a lot of breakfasts because of this single trait. I spend all this time and energy into people, and then at the end of the day I get a big blow. I'm not investing because I'm expecting so much in return, but at the end of the day, the truth is, they say to whom much is given, more is expected. It's just life. It's just the way things go. But then, you know, you keep pouring into people, investing your time, energy, whatever it is, into these individuals that don't even rate you at all. They don't see you half as much as you see them. And why would you want to keep doing that to yourself? So please, in 2025, I'm dropping this attitude. And if this is something as well that you've been doing, I strongly suggest that you drop that attitude as well, because you might not realize it now, but you're doing yourself more harm than good. That brings us to the end of the 5 habits that I'm living in 2025. And doesn't mean that there are not 1 million other habits that I need to drop, but these will be the 5 top in my list. If you want me to do a part 2 of this video talking about more habits that I would like to drop in 2025, let me know in the comment section. And let me also know in the comment section, what habits are you dropping in 2025, or what habits are you not taking into 2026 with you? I would really love to hear your own reflections. If you've enjoyed this soft girl chat, please give this video a thumbs up, and of course subscribe to see more beautiful videos like this. See you in my next one. Mwah.